Oh, hello there. This is Nick.
And I'm Ben, and we're here to talk about the last class of our English 385 course that we just finished up.
So it was a class where we had many presentations and a few guest speakers. The first of which was one of the independent groups who had a presentation about a boxing match, with half of the class watching a live boxing match and half of the class watching a video of the same match, but with some interesting things happening as a result of the media being used.
So for the actual version that was on the internet that people were watching, there were parts that were like censored and stuff, right? Like you couldn't even see what was happening?
Yeah, it was a screen that said technical difficulties, please stand by, and there was a really annoying sound that played, and then it would come back to the match and something else would be happening that with no explanation because of the interruption. So you'd have one of the boxers with his arm behind his back or drinking some water or something, and you weren't really sure what the rules of the match were, and so it was a confusing presence of the technical difficulties for those of us who are watching it on the internet.
So it sounds like basically the whole narrative of what was happening was totally just being thrown off by the fact that like just the medium and the people who have control over the medium were able to contort the message and maybe make the message different, kind of thing.
Yeah, and actually it reminds me of the class where Sharon Pro came in and spoke to us, and she mentioned that there was some sort of Aboriginal awards show that she attended, and there was a part that she really liked in it, and one of her family members watching the broadcast missed that part because there was a commercial right at, and it was some part that was extremely relevant to sort of our colonial history or something like that, and that reminded me of maybe the inspiration that the group got for that project, because it is a pretty important aspect of how things are presented in terms of storytelling and whatnot.
No, that's actually pretty true. Like, even where a network chooses to just drop a commercial break in the middle of something, like, whatever is missed there, like, that's pretty important, and the commercial break is their prerogative, so it's up to them to decide when they do that kind of thing. So, yeah, that's very interesting. I'm glad you bring it up. So, should we talk about some of the other speakers that we had in the class that day?
Sure, so the next speaker we had was Stephanie Evans, and I believe she's from up north. I think she said she lives in Grand Cache, and she came to speak to us about her take on the Idle No More movement, and she was obviously a very passionate speaker for the cause.
Looks like, I mean, a lot of the things that she feels really strongly about are like rooted in tradition, and like a lot of the things she was talking about, like being able to like go on like a canoe with her relatives and have her children be able to do that kind of thing, and just the fact that industry is kind of like forcing its way in up there and is kind of like undermining and like repelling their way of life from the land that they've always lived there. It's definitely it's a really strong message, and it you know, resonated with me quite strongly.
Yeah, and I noticed she wasn't afraid to look around the class and look people in the eyes, and you could tell that it was very, very close to her heart.
Could I just say that I feel like when she was looking around the class, I got a disproportionate amount of like staring. And I don't know if that's just something that I'm like misinterpreting, or is it when I looked around the class afterwards, I was like, you know what? Like, we're like, me and you, Nick, we're one of the few like white guys.
We were the only two white guys there, I think.
Rob was Rob there? Anyway, but yeah, we were a few of the only like white guys there, and like, I just wanted to like stand up and be like, sorry. I feel really bad. Like
it could be that she was directing it at you, and I felt like I got a good share of eye contact too. Or you know what? Maybe she just thought you were you're a good-looking guy or something like that.
That's a pretty big possibility. Yeah, but one way or another, like, that message resonated really strongly. And who was the next speaker we had?
So the next speaker was Sandra Crazy Bull, and I thought she was a super cool lady. She was the one who sort of had a personal calling to become a drummer, and a teacher as well. And just the way that she explained how she came to the point where she is now, where she's leading drumming at the gatherings and rallies and that type of thing, was pretty neat.
I definitely always, like, just for the fact that I'm going into education hopefully soon, like, I just admire anyone who, like, goes into the community to teach. So I definitely was really impressed by her, especially when I stopped being intimidated by her. So
She was a pretty powerful presence, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that was really great to hear her speak. And then the last person that talked was
Chantal Chagnon. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, she was the radical Green Party politician.
Oh yeah, that's so extreme. Yeah, and she was like the daughter, and she loves politics, and like the strongest message I got from her is like, get out and vote, right?
Yeah, be able to get involved in the political scene.
Yeah.
And to not think it's lame or be apathetic about it, which is a great message in this city, in this province.
For sure. Yeah, so I mean, me and my brother are already pretty politically active, so we're good. We're good in that regard. I mean, that was pretty much it for that class. We had a great drum circle afterwards. We listened to some great music, and then Aruna was nice enough to treat us all to a drink afterwards. So thank you very much to Aruna. It was actually really great to just sit down with some of our classmates in like a really nice social setting and just like talk with people. That was actually really nice. I really enjoyed that too.
Yeah, me too. Just to get out of the classroom setting for a little bit at the end there was really nice.
Alright, so that's just our little recap of what we thought of the last class there. So if you're listening to this, thank you very much for listening.
And have a great day.